All right, here's my push workout from my new push-pull legs program optimized for a home gym. Look at those pecs and delts. You're going to want to try this one. First, we're going to start out with an incline bench press. A good rule of thumb when you're writing programs for yourself is to put the highest fatiguing compound lifts at the beginning of the workout. That way you have plenty of energy to perform them, as well as the isolations later on in your workout. 2 sets here, anywhere between 5 to 8 reps. Next is a seated barbell overhead press. The only reason we're seated here is to increase the stability a little bit and reduce some of the leg drive that you might see on a standing barbell overhead press. Allows us to focus a little bit more on the delts. 1 set, anywhere between 5 to 8 reps. Last exercise for the pecs is going to be this weird chest fly that I have set up. Unfortunately, I don't have a reverse pulley system. If I were to do this in a commercial gym, I would use a dual reversed pulley system. I would be seated and I would be doing these low to high instead of high to low. But unfortunately, I'm a little bit limited with my home gym setup. Of course, not complaining, having a home gym is pretty sick, but there are just certain exercises that I can't do and I have to choose the next best alternative, and this is it. Doing these for 1 set, anywhere between 8 to 12 reps. Next, to round out the delts, some lateral raises. As you can see, I'm holding on to the squat rack just to provide a little bit more stability and really thinking about sweeping my arm outward. A lot of times you'll see people performing lateral raises and it sort of looks like a botched upright row, so you really want to think about sweeping the weight out. And once again, if you are using a commercial gym, I would use a cable because that will provide constant tension on the side delt. 1 set, around 8 to 12 reps. Okay, for the triceps, skull crushers, I'm using an easy bar here, and I do like to keep skull crushers heavy. I'll perform them anywhere between 5 to 10 reps. I think skull crushers are one of the best tricep builders you can do. Triceps are one of my more impressive muscle groups, and I've been doing skull crushers for over 5 years at this point. Just 1 set here. Next for the triceps, a cable press down. As you can see, I'm really trying to sort of extend the range of motion here by allowing the bar to travel above my head and then pressing down, not letting my elbows straighten out. You can see that they're still bent to keep the triceps engaged, but just want to get that full range of motion. 1 set, anywhere between 6 to 10 reps. The last exercise of the workout is a cable crunch. Not really a push exercise, but I didn't really know where else to put my ab isolation work, so I just kind of threw it in at the end of my push workout. But as you can see, I'm using a straight bar here. A lot of people like to use a rope with their cable crunches. I am not a fan of using the rope because then your forearms start to get pretty fatigued, and that can actually become the limiting factor on this exercise. So I like to just rest my hands on top of the straight bar, and I'm not pulling the weight down with my arms. I'm using my abs to crunch the weight down, and my hands are simply just resting on top of the bar. Feel free to like, follow, and/or subscribe for more tips on getting freaking jacked.